Hello, and welcome back to Counting the Omer 5786. This is the video for the counting of the Omer on the night or the evening of May the 7th, 2026. We're going into the daytime of May the 8th up until sunset. And then it'll be time for another count after it gets dark again. Let us start with the blessing for the counting of the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies us with mitzvot and commands us concerning the counting of the Omer. Hayom shisha ushloshim yom shehem chamisha shuvoot v'yom echad la'omer. Today is day 36, which is 5 weeks and 1 day of the Omer. Yachid chesed shebiyesod kulam. Unique one, the kindness within foundation of them all. So most days I say the traditional language for the blessing for Torah study that comes from the Babylonian Talmud, Masachet Brachot, page 11b. And one time I used the non-binary Hebrew project language just to give you a chance to hear what that sounds like. But some of you may prefer feminine God language. And I think it makes a lot of sense for me to use that today, especially because this study is dedicated to the memory of my mother, Dvorah bat Avraham v'Sarah, Zichona livracha. Brucha at ya Elohatenu, Ruach haolam asher karvatenu לעבודתה וציוותנו לעסוק בדברי Torah. Blessed are you, Yah, our goddess, spirit, the wind, the spirit, the breath of the universe that brings us closer to your service, to your work, and who commanded us to busy ourselves with words of Torah. We are in the 6th week of the counting of the Omer, which corresponds to Yesod, foundation. And this is the first day of that week, which corresponds to Chesed, loving kindness and mercy. So, I've been thinking about Yesod as a craft room. You see, my mother was a master quilt maker. Her piecing was done with a sewing machine, but she did all of her quilting by hand. Her quilts won awards. They were also gifts for friends and family and total strangers. Some of her quilts hung in showrooms, and some raised money for hospitals. Yesod is a bit like my mother's craft room, with her fabric collection, her various threads, and the battings that would go inside of her quilts. Only Yesod has all of the other sefirot that flow down into it. She would go in there and she would pick just the right pieces to cut, sew together, and craft into something beautiful. Some quilts included all the colors of the rainbow. Some were almost entirely blue or red or green. One special quilt was white quilting on a white background. Yesod is the place where the energies come together according to the pattern so that they can be expressed in the material world as a single thing. Just like how all of those different pieces came together according to a pattern to be expressed in the real world. Chesed as the white quilt. According to Rabbi Moshe Cordovero in his book Pardes Rimonim, the color of Chesed is white, or silvery light blue. Chesed is kindness and love. Chesed is the actions of love, even when you don't feel the emotions of love. And chesed is the emotion of love that fills your heart and overflows. A hand-stitched white on white quilt is a special thing because the art of it is in the quilt stitches, not in the piecing. They must be very small and very precise. Uneven stitches might be hidden on a colorful quilt, but they stand out on an all-white one. A handmade white on white quilt is a labor of immense love and dedication. It takes time, it takes intention, it takes consistency. Chesed, when you make it a key aspect of your life, is like that too. Chesed in Yesod is intentional care brought to the work of living. It is the work of building relationships, building community. Chesed is visiting the sick. It's bringing joy to a place where joy is needed. It is sitting in the grief with someone who needs to spend time in that place for a bit. Chesed can be a hug, but it can also be respecting someone's preference not to touch. A chesed quilt would be a silvery thread on a white background where you could see every single stitch and recognize the intention and the consistency there. Chesed in Yesod is the place where the threads bond with fabric to bring the idea into reality. Thank you so much for studying with me today. I would love to hear your thoughts on today, on Chesed in Yesod, on life in general. You can leave a comment here on YouTube or join us over on School, where there's room for longer form journaling and taking part in conversations with other folks. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow.